I had this video on my For You page, and I want to give another perspective to this, because at the end of the day, no child should ever have to be this strong. That's not normal. I want to remind each and everybody, if you see this video, I want you to remember that it is not normal for a child to be, of course, facing genocide, living in tents, living in displacement. It doesn't matter where that child is. It doesn't matter what age that child is. No child deserves to be racially stereotyped. No child has to have that resilience and that strength to go on the streets and march for her own people, for her own future, and against her own racial stereotypization. No child should be this strong. And I have, when I saw this video, I had goosebumps, because a couple of months ago, I saw a demonstration that happened after, I think it was from Afghanistan, stabbed people or run a car. I don't know. I can't really remember what he did. If you remember, you can write it in the comments. They made a young Afghan child go on stage and apologize and say, I'm human, I'm not responsible for the I was filled with rage. I was filled with rage that video irritated me to the, like, it sent shivers down my spine. Why the fuck would anybody think this is okay? Y'all, and that's exactly why I will never, ever lead by children are off limits, because that off limit only means white kids are off limits. Because no child of color, no black child, no indigenous child should be going to no stages apologizing for the actions of grown-ass adults. And no grown-ass adult should accept such an apology and allow that to happen. But y'all did that. Y'all clapped for this little girl. Y'all were clapping and commending her courage while she was in tears, apologizing for actions she has no take in. She's a child. But you do not give a fuck because she's not a white child. Anytime I see videos of demonstrations, of marches, or when I go there myself and I see children, I feel like someone is seizing my airway. This is a child that right from the get-go is not going to have the same chances, is not going to have the same opportunities, is going to be continuously, from the moment they enter the system, going to be racially profiled, underestimated, dehumanized, and terrorized. The moment they enter the system, a child that is allegedly off limits. It doesn't work that way. No child should be this strong. No child should have to be this strong. No child should have to be marching on the streets for a genocide to stop. What are we doing? This is 2025. What are we doing as a society that children are on the streets marching against a genocide? Have we lost touch of reality of how fucking insane that is? Of how fucking insane it is to tell children or to take our kids along, because of course, they are there. They are part of the picture. But have we lost touch of reality of how fucking insane this actually is? Have we actually gotten so used to suffering and genocides and war and pictures of burning bodies that we do not even see how fucking disgusting this is? The world does not care. The leaders of the world do not care. If they cared, if they listened to the people, and if they were actually elected by us and would be representing our voices, this would not be happening. How many more signs do we need that this is never going to take us anywhere? It's been 1.5 years that we know of. Prior to that, it's been 75 years of oppression, of illegal settlement. It's been 600 years of colonization, slavery, kidnapping, neo-colonization, exploitation on the African continent. It's been 75 genocides going on at the same time for the Yazidi people. The Kurdish people have survived multiple genocides. What are we doing as a society that we're just like, oh, this is a genocide, this is a genocide. 7 million people are living in displacement in the Congo. Nearly 500,000 homes have been destroyed by Israel in the Gaza Strip. 500,000 homes, that's 93% of Gaza's infrastructure, has been destroyed by It's Not Real. What are we doing as a society? We are clapping for children on the streets. We are honestly clapping for children on the streets and commending their resilience and their strength. Do we see that these kids are going to be collectively traumatized, not only because they grew up in times where they saw the entire world watching, there are people living under a genocide and nobody did shit. Let me rephrase to make it more understandable for the dense ones. You grow up as a child. You are realizing that your very existence is of no value on a systemic and global scale. What the fuck does that do to your brain? What does it do to your brain when you know that your existence means nothing to the global setting of the world? You are just a Palestinian, a Congolese. You are just an African. You are just Kurdish. You are just because you did not turn out white. So you are just. That's all you are. Just. You just exist. You're just there. You're part of a minority. When that's like literally the biggest scam in human history, but okay. The thing is that systemically, we are so divided that we are still arguing after 1.5 years, after 92 or 93% of destroyed infrastructure in the Gaza Strip, after 7 million displaced people in the Congo, after 75 genocides, after people that have been asking for their land to be free, that we are debating whether or not destroying a literal entire population and their houses is self-defense. We are so divided that we have not even come to a common human ground of, nah, that's actually wrong. That's actually wrong. We have come to a point, or we are at a point, we've been at this point since, we are calling out the wrongdoings of a certain group of people is labeled anti-Semitism because you're holding people accountable. But when you're reversing it, what those people have gone through is it has to be talked about. It has to be talked about. And mind you, two things can be right at the same time. We can continuously, because we have to be talking about what the Holocaust was and why this should never happen again. And we can at the very same time hold Israel accountable for committing a genocide, hold the Western world accountable for committing multiple genocides on the African continent, holding the world accountable for literally enabling the death of millions of people. We can do that. Two things can be right at the same time. But we are arguing whether or not an artificial state has the right to defend itself. We are asking whether or not we should buy the iPhone 16 Pro Max or we should not. And now anytime I say this, people are like, oh, what do you want us to do? Do you think any system, any government has the power to judge and convict 5-6 million people? If 5 or 6 million people collectively stand up together and start burning shit down, do you think any government has the capability, the ability, the possibility to convict 5 or 6 million people? No. Because do you know why? They are afraid of unity. That is why they keep us divided. They keep us divided by race, by religion, by political background, by human rights, by the bare fucking minimum. Because they know once we come together as one, it's over. What do you want us to do? How about start burning shit down? How about that? How about that? Because freedom was never given. It was taken by force. That's it.